Hoi hoi! It's louisity again, and for this video we are going to do the mid-year Freakout book tag! Hoorah! So I feel that this is going to be like an annual thing, like a yearly tradition, so I enjoy doing this like kind of annually because not only additional content of course, but also like I get to revisit about what are my thoughts about my reading so far. So yeah, I decided to like look for a mid-year Freakout book tag video and answer some of the questions that I feel like answering. So what are we waiting for? Let us begin answering the prompts. At the last minute, I decided not to choose anymore. I'm going to share with you a couple of my 5-star reads so far, as in like perfect 5 out of 5. And this is kind of like a hint, with my annual wrap-up videos, like the great books I read in insert year. So you're gonna have an idea about some of the books that I will be including for great books read in 2024, and that would be Front Desk by Kelly Yang, and also Moymoy Lulumboy, Mga Dulot ng Digmaan by Segundo D. Matias Jr. I'd have to say that both of these are perfect 5 out of 5, and they're coming from different genres. This is like more of contemporary, this is fantasy. This one's just really action-packed. I was seated throughout the scenes. I was kind of seated with this one too. I like how, it was light, had it like, because of course obviously it's middle grade, and it really suited because even if the situations were tough, there was like some sort of like positivity and like optimistic like outlook that's being done in the narrative. And I'd have to say, it's kind of like, it's sad, but it was able to turn into something like more fluffy, if that's a better way to put it. But you know what I mean, because of course the target audience are like middle graders, so you wouldn't really want them to be in like very triggering like situations. And this book did a great job of executing important topics that are suitable for like middle graders. So, and I was just really enjoying the characterizations, the narratives, and yeah, like the whole thing that if you read it, you're gonna know what I mean when I said especially us fellow Asians, fellow East or Southeast Asians specifically, because of course the characters here are of Chinese and Taiwanese descent. I mean, some of them, and sometimes Southeast Asians have like some interconnected things with East Asian culture, if you know what I mean. I mean, that's just like my take and my experience, y'all. So yeah, and this one is just really like where the stakes are getting higher, and I'm really happy that that's how this the series is progressing. You know how I've been raving about Moymoy. I definitely encourage more like middle graders, especially Filipino readers, to get into this one. So these are just like the best books that I've read so far in 2024, and I am definitely satisfied. Unfortunately, I have to give this to Coraline by Neil Gaiman. It's not that it wasn't scary enough. I understand that it is for middle grade, let alone like kind of early middle grade, like after people are kids and now that are entering their middle grade phases. But like the narrative was just like all over the place. Like there was a time, okay, this is what's happening in the story, and then all of a sudden, okay, we're taken here, and I'm like, what is going on? And like, how are these like connected towards each other? The way like the narratives were synthesized, like the events were synthesized, it was just kind of like really all over the place. And it was just all about like the spooky vibes for me, which I got the spooky vibes. But yeah, I was really disappointed with the overall execution of the book. It would have to be this one, Amari and the Great Game, because as y'all know, brown is like my favorite color, so I'm biased with like color brown. I just love the blending of the brown for this one. It was really genius, and it's kind of like chocolatey or caramel-like, which to me, this really screams like gorgeous or ravishing. It's ravishing. Yeah. I'm gonna go with an adult fantasy book, but another book with a brown cover, and that would be Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. The elements of this one, it's just like the details of it. It just screams ravishing, and it's brown. Looks scrumptious. I just love it, and I've been wanting to read this series as well. So definitely, this is a book. And hopefully this cover, because like either way, they're both like brownish, and I kind of preferred like this other cover though. I just like the way, the shade of this brown. But even if I get the other brown cover, it's alright with me. Brown is loved by Louis. The color brown is just loved by louisity. Okay? I looked into my Goodreads account, and at least as far as I noticed so far, it would have to be fantasy and all sorts of ages, whether that's middle grade, young adult, or adult. Like, I have to say that my reading year so far, were to describe it, or the genre that describes like my reading year, would have to be fantasy. Or if you're looking for an adjective, fantastical, enchanting, whimsical. Well, I gave 3 words, so. Over the past couple of months, I was contemplating whether I'll be doing TBR videos, because at first why I wouldn't do TBR videos, because I always tell myself that I'm a super slow reader, and I think until now I am. But I've been inspired by a lot of those TBR video games, those like TBR games, and I've not only been enjoying watching those, I look forward to those. And I thought like, why not, create something of my own? So thankfully I came up with all these like alphabet TBR prompts, so I decided to create like an alphabet TBR game. I just filmed one earlier for July TBR, and I'm definitely excited to film for the succeeding months. Hopefully it continues. It's going to be continual throughout my channel, and I'd have to say that I'm enjoying it. Okay, so the book that embodies my reading year so far would have to be Babel by R.F. Kuang, because as I've mentioned in the other prompt, like my answer for the other prompt, fantasy is like my main genre. So not only that, just to add something from that previous prompt, I would like to elaborate my answer a little bit. Another thing that I noticed with my reading so far this year is that it's not only fantasy, but like a lot of them were like thick books. Like I've been reading like thick books so far, and you'll have an idea towards like all the books I read in 2024, like which books will they be, because I'll be enumerating like the books that I read, for 2024. And if you've watched like my July TBR video, there is a prompt there that I picked, which is a reread. So I will also include, all the books that I reread in 2024. So watch out for that one. Feel free to comment down below your answers to some of these prompts, or maybe to all of these prompts. So feel free to comment them down below. And also, if you would like to answer a question that is not in this mid-year Freakout book tag, but can be found in other mid-year Freakout book tag videos, feel free to comment them down below as well. And if you've made it this far, leave a cherry emoji. I hope you folks liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon so we're down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. I also put down links and handles on my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there and support me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye y'all.